a test of this particular software. With that, I am here with two complete reprobates, which is my absolute displeasure to say here. No, I'm here with a couple of people who you know, and I'm going to hand over to them in a second. But I'm messing about, but it's going to be about some things, some obvious issues, but also there's going to be some serious talk about forced adoption in the UK. So it's something you might want to share this one. Please do share this as far as you can. This thing, just to say quickly, is at this present time, I can't see your comments, but I will be able to soon. So I'm going to hand you over to these reprobates so that they can introduce themselves. Right, guys.
Right, quickly, because we're live on Families Destroyed by the State as well. Hi, guys. So
hello, people.
Katie-Jayne Swallow, Chris from TR.Talk. We've got Zero News on as well. Chris.
So how's it going, Zero, bro? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm glad that we've had this chance to catch up, because I was wondering about you, and obviously I've been wondering about the Melanie Shaw thing and everything else. And obviously, Katie, it's my first time actually speaking to you, so it's really nice to be able to speak to you as well. It's been awesome just to speak to you on camera and speak to you. So it's been really cool. So obviously, just quickly, I think it's quite right for us to mention the Veterans March that happened today.
Yeah, brilliant turnout. Fair play to him.
Can everyone let me know as well? Make sure you can hear Zero alright as well on our one. I've put my microphone in, so it should pick it up better. And Zero's right underneath the camera on the screen as well. Sorry.
I keep sharing. So there we go. So the other thing is the other thing. So I made a few notes. So I think the best thing went pretty well, but we do want to catch up on it, obviously.
Yeah.
But Chris has been, as you may have noticed, rather quiet over the last few days, and he's been busy. Chris, why?
Oh, basically,
I've
been to Southport, Liverpool, Manchester to see some girls that have suffer from, losing their children, suffer from abuse. It's been a real draining week, man, but I've got to experience living under their roof and seeing how they handle life on a daily basis. And it's for a documentary. I'm going to be releasing it hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So big up to Angie, Tinky, and of course
Do you have to keep doing that? Fuck off, you twat.
But yeah, it should be good, man. I think it's quite an emotional documentary. I think these people need to have a voice and a platform to share what's going on in their lives. Do you know what I mean?
So, you've been doing this documentary with Katie. So,
and a few other girls, yeah.
How intense is it going to be? What's it been like? Experience. I know you don't want to talk too much about what the documentary itself was in it, but how's the experience been for both of you guys?
Oh, it's been.
So you're talking about some people to explain forced adoption for a lot of people. So we'll come to that, but just your experiences first, guys. Yeah,
it was a real eye opener because obviously I've not had this kind of abuse. Obviously I've had issues in life before. And ex-girlfriends of mine I've had, been through misery, rape and shit. But now I've got to experience what these girls go through on a daily basis, the heartache, listening to their stories, seeing them cry. It's quite an emotional thing to do, and I've done it constantly for a week. It's drained me, but it's.
Drained you?
These girls live it, do you know what I mean? So I've only had a little bit of the feeling that these girls live on a daily basis for the last how many years it's been. Katie's camp out as well, man. So that went.
Sorry, say again.
Katie had a camp out. Katie had a camp out, so.
It wasn't my camp out. It was Unity for Our Children camp out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, because I hadn't. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, and I'm going to say this now in case. Steph out there. Steph, you want me to shout out, and you deserve one. So I'm just giving you a quick shout out because you're awesome enough to deserve it. So shout out to Steph out there. My apologies.
Steph.
So I'm sorry, guys.
Hello,
So,
Steph.
Let's get to it. For starters, could you please explain to people who may be slightly more ignorant on the subject, please?
Well, obviously everyone knows about adoption. That's where the parents will willingly give their children over to the state to rehome. What you'll find, which dates back to 1934, is, especially in the UK, governments and councils, social services are taking well cared for, well looked after children to fill adoption quotas. And they're doing this for multiple of reasons. First one is it's the cheapest option and it brings in the most revenue. The second one, you have to look at what's happening to the at-risk kids, the kids who are genuinely at risk of being made homeless, genuinely at risk of being abused, beaten, raped, ending up on the streets, getting into gangs. Those kids are left. Because if anything happens to those kids while the case is open, the social worker is held equally responsible to the perpetrator. So they're encouraged and discouraged to take good, well-looked after kids where they're not going to be abused or targeted or harmed in any way whilst the case is ongoing, whilst they're removing the child. Whereas at-risk kids, like with Baby P, the reason Baby P didn't have a social worker, the reason the case kept getting dismissed is because he was an at-risk child. Because he was at risk of being beaten, being abused and being murdered, and that's why he didn't have a social worker. They knew what was going on,
right.
But the managers who sit in the office, they're the ones who make the decisions, not the social worker who comes to you. They're responsible for manipulating reports.
I just jump in a second. Sorry, hold that thought for a second. Oh, it's all right. The video's come back. Carry on. Sorry, my apologies.
It's okay. So basically, families across the UK, whether it's young parents, single parents, parents who've had history of domestic violence, rape, abuse, child neglect, or being taken from their parents themselves, they're reasons why social services can get involved, and then they use the crystal ball method. Risk of future emotional harm, risk of future neglect, risk of future physical abuse. They don't have to prove that you can do something and that you will do something, just that you could.
Are you trying to say that you're guilty before proven innocent, or
100%.
are you saying
100%. For example, did you know taking taking a tablet or a TV out of your kid's room because they're being naughty? Do you know that's theft and false imprisonment? You're not allowed to ground your kid or shout at your kid. You're not allowed to grab your kid to pull them out of the way of oncoming traffic or to stop them from getting themselves injured. It's all forms of abuse.
Wow.
You're not even allowed to shout in your own home. I mean, I'm one of them where I don't anyway. I'm just soft.
Yeah.
But that is the case with everywhere else that you go. You have to prove that under no circumstances, at any point in their future, are you going to lay a hand on them, make them cry, upset them, shout at them, or physically restrain them. And multiple other excuses like if you're an ex-drug addict, going back to drugs. If you're an ex-alcoholic, going back to alcohol. If you're an ex-domestic violence survivor, you'll go back to being a domestic violence victim. Anything they can pin on you to twist. The threshold, they make it sound like the threshold that you've got to meet to have your kids removed is extremely high, but it's not, because there's so many loopholes around it, which is where the crystal ball method comes in. Because how can you prove that nothing is ever going to happen to your child at any point in history?
Well, that could apply to any parent around the world.
Exactly.
So that's that is kind of crazy. Viewers at home, excuse me, there's a couple of things going on, and one of them is that I'm just resizing some stuff so you can see a little bit better. The other one is that at the other end, it seems that they are using a lot of bandwidth because they're doing 2 streams at once, which means that every now and again the video is freezing. It's not a glitch in YouTube, it's just a bandwidth problem, so don't worry about it. Nothing's gone wrong. And it means you get a nice freeze frame with the pretty faces on board that you want. So don't whinge about it, just enjoy it. So, okay. So what? Why?
Well,
Why are they doing it?
look at the agenda that they're pushing, and they have been pushing for the last few years. More same-sex relationship couples, more working couples that want to work up until they've got a stable job and a stable house, and then look at having a family, and look at how much money that it brings in. Taking these kids and adopting these kids out. I mean, the system feeds themselves.
You any idea when these kids end up?
Well, it depends where you do your research, what area you do your research, and what type of cases you're looking into. Because as soon as that child's adopted, that's it. That parent has no say, no nothing. For example, if my daughter...
I'm sorry, no, carry on.
If my daughter dies, I wouldn't get informed about it. There's no obligation to even tell me if my child's even alive anymore, because she's no longer my child, according to the government.
That's insane. That is insane. I mean, what harm is there to anybody just to let you know?
None.
That just.
What about what's going to happen with your
governments,
daughter? What can happen on that? Can you talk about that?
Well, with Liam, they've put Liam in a situation where I can't go anywhere near him. With my son, they've put him with his dad, who's got a 26-page long criminal record. Never wanted anything to do with him.
And what are they trying to? What's their main thing that they say the reason they don't want you to see them?
Future risk of emotional harm, future risk of neglect, and future risk of physical abuse, because my son sleepwalks and sleep crawls and fell out of bed like normal 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds do.
And they put 2 and 2 together, come up 5. That's
pretty much.
And then they're on you.
Yeah, I mean, social services can get involved over something as simple as your neighbours reporting screaming and crying or shouting coming from the house next door.
I was just about to ask. Look, was this a nosy neighbour that just turned your life upside down?
Oh no, this was a nursery worker trying to cover up the fact that she restrained my son.
Wow. Oh, it's just even more convoluted than that. It's even more.
Yeah, other schools are involved with it, NHS workers are involved with it, midwives are involved with it. There's so many problems in the system.
In terms of countrywide?
Pardon?
What is the scale of this in terms of, say, the size of the country, terms of country, nationally?
Last year, for the Northwest alone, they were looking at 38,000 children to be removed from families.
38,000?
Yeah. Beginning of last year, 10,000 children that social services took went missing. Out of all of them,
so,
10,000 they lost track of.
Answer me this. If there's 38,000 children in bad homes, how is it all the people that I see that genuinely mistreat their children in some way, shape or form don't get any of this?
Because their kids are classed as at-risk cases.
Because I see things, not all the time, but, you know, and I've been aware of things that you'd think would be instant cases. Nothing happens.
Oh, you're not the only one.
I have, and yet I've also seen a case, I think I told you a little bit about it, where the child loses her child, and the mum tries to step in, she's told she's too stupid to look after the child, considering she's already born one child, and, you know, up to that point, everything had gone all right, and she was basically called stupid, and she wasn't allowed to look after the child. So it wasn't the person they were blaming, but her mum. It just seemed like they didn't want the child with the family, even though the family didn't have a history of anything.
Same here. I've not had a history of anything apart from being a domestic violence survivor. I had a couple of other bits which obviously weren't reported to.
Do you think there's a class thing going on as well? It's like
of course there is.
It's a target for the working class, isn't it?
Of course.
There's so many coming forward now to speak about these problems. So many.
Yeah, so what's this, I mean, so you say so many coming forward. So what scale are we talking about in people coming forward? Sort of.
Since I first started active protesting last year, there's been more people in the last few months that have come forward than there has done in an entire year. They have escalated what they're doing to a maximum. They have finally, don't forget it's been going on since 1934. After all this time, they've been perfecting and finding the perfect ways to get what they want through this simple thing that brings in as much money as it does. They have reached a point of perfection where now they are going into overdrive and anyone is a target now. I genuinely believe anyone is a target, because if you speak out against it, you can be a target. As soon as you become a target, if you're around anyone else with kids, they're a target. You can't fight against them unless you know how to protect yourself against them.
On screen, everyone, you'll see Katie talking there. Let's just have a listen in.
So...
What?
Hang on 1 second.
Is he playing the video?
You see the reception she's getting.
What's that?
The video.
Just had to pop out of the room a minute, mate.
He's watching the video.
Oh, you're watching the video? Soz. But it's not
So you can see the reception that she's getting, guys and girls, and but also how powerful the message is. And something she said in the middle of all that, was about how many different groups were there to support her, and I think she went through a few groups, Tommy and. Basically, we're on the same side issue here with this, isn't there, Katie?
Sorry, I was reading the comment behind.
That's all right. No, I was just saying. So, one of the messages in the video that I just played to people, you were saying, was that people from every cause, if you like, were there supporting you and talk, and listening to you talk, and that's something that we talked about that you wanted to get across.
Yeah, something that's important to me is like how we are all connected. We are all fighting against the same thing. Just because we've got different names doesn't mean we're not fighting against the same thing, which is the British justice system. It's just like in the other countries, it's their justice system. This is what the problem is with every single one of us. All of us that are fighting today for what we're doing aren't going to be around to enjoy the finished result, utopia that we promised our kids. We're not, unfortunately, the way it's going to how slow everyone's waking up to it, likelihood of us all being around to enjoy it is slim. Our children, on the other hand, should be able to enjoy it, should be able to benefit from a system that we help fight for, we help create, because that's what matters. Adults don't matter, they really don't. It's the children that do matter. They're the ones who are going to change the system, fend the system, keep this fucking planet going. They're all that do matter, the ones who have never committed a crime, able to commit a crime, a sin, who aren't even old enough to fend for themselves. That's who we're all fighting for, just in different ways, just by different names. And it's just realising that we are all fighting for the same thing, against the same thing, and that's what's going to bring people together. And that's why I make a big effort about reaching out to people like yourself and to Chris and to others that I do. Because at the end of the day, take away the smoke screen from everything else, what we're calling ourselves, which part of the system we're fighting, we're all still fighting the system.
Totally agree with you. Sorry to do is for the video freezing up. There's nothing we can do about that. So, coming back to the documentary, so is this a one-part documentary? How long's it going to be? When's it going to be released?
When he can get off his ass.
Yeah, yeah, it will be released hopefully next week or the week after. I might have to make it into 2 parts. It depends on all the footage I've got. Might have a bit left over, so it could be possibly 2-part.
I'm hoping to link him up with a couple of parents as well from our side. So if anyone is watching that wants Chris to interview them, please send us a message so we can get in touch with you as soon as possible.
Well, it's going to be emotional.
Yes.
Get your tissues. Get your tissues.
Yeah, and to my viewers, live or otherwise, please spread the word. It's a serious issue. A lot of the criticism we get as Tommy supporters and all the rest of it, and again, I'm a supporter, not a follower, is that we only focus on one set of kids. Well, I always say that's true, and that is all kids. So this is as important as anything else. Please share this around. Please share around what Katie's doing, and take it very seriously. Katie, I mean, I've talked to her off camera. She is no joke, and deserves fair hearing at least. So I hope we can share that around and do that, guys. Obviously, I will hand it over to Katie to give some links and stuff over when we get there. Katie, you mentioned a name of another person to me whilst we were off air.
Carol Woods or Ian Josephs?
Carol Woods.
Yes, Carol Woods is a social worker. She actually blew the whistle on Lancashire Council because of them perjuring reports and targeting parents who didn't need to be targeted and didn't need the children actually being taken from them. The interview that I've sent her is the first video that anyone looking into forced adoption comes across. The second link I shared you was a website from Ian Joseph's, but obviously I'll let you get to that in your own time. With Carol Woods hasn't been seen in I think 2 years now, and the latest information is she's been put into a mental institution to silence her. I'm waiting on proper up-to-date information on her yet, and I've got a couple of protesters going to try and see her.
So one thing that seems to be common across all these causes is that people who are trying to make a stand are all being put in prison.
That's nothing new in the forced adoption circle. That's gagging orders. I mean, that's been happening to parents for years. Parents get gagging orders put on them, and as soon as they say their kid's name or share their kid's face or what happened in the court case, they're in prison to silence them. Alavi Dower, who came down to the Unity for Our Children campaign on 17th of July, he's been imprisoned again for speaking out about his judge for breaking his court order. And he was previously put in prison again for mentioning his court case as well for breaching a restraining order by sending in court papers via his solicitor to his kid's mum.
Wow. I've got a... Oh, hang on a second. I've got a note I wrote down that I don't actually understand. But maybe it'll pick up a thing in your mind. It was just simply helping each other. Was the note. There was something we talked of off air. It wasn't just a, hey, can we get along? It was a little bit more than that. But it's gone now. But I think it was saying along the lines of, that a bit like you said across groups, but this needs to go a little bit more. It needs to go a little bit more than that. We actually really do need to. We all love. Okay, speaking for the Tommy supporters, for instance, we all love Tommy. We all love his causes, but none of these causes are any less worthy. Just because they don't have the trademark Tommy on them, it doesn't make them any less worthy. And I am certain Tommy would agree. And so I hope people are really listening. and I don't mean that as an intellectual insult.
I mean,
I
even
just think it's
Tommy's
very
helped.
easy.
Even Tommy's helped families destroyed by the state.
Yeah, that's helped before, yeah.
He's done a video for us where he's actually holding my kid's leaflet and a forced adoption leaflet, saying about how forced adoption is real and to look into it. So, I mean, he's even back to what we're doing because it is there. People just need to look. As soon as you look and you see, you'll notice.
So for the people that say that he only helps Muslim children, shut up.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, like anybody, he wants to help all children. And that's, I mean, your motivation, Katie, is exactly that, isn't it?
100%. That's all I'm fighting for is the kids. I've got nothing else other than that. So I'm rolling a cigarette at the same time.
That's fine. That's fine. Not a problem.
Zero, how's your shoulder? Or what?
My shoulder?
Last time I seen you, you went flying, didn't you? The last time I was with you.
Oh, when I went flying, that was unbelievable because one, I wouldn't say I'm out of shape. Like, I mean, my cardio is not great, but it's not terrible. But I used to do a lot of martial arts and I stopped. And I'm naturally stretchy, got like a hypermobility, but some of that stretch is gone. And mixed with the fact that I got injuries, as you know, when you hit, obviously when they pushed you into me like a fucking pinball, I wasn't expecting it, and my backpack saved me from hitting my head, but my head still snapped back. So that really hurt a few minutes later. I don't know if you saw it, but I walked away. I was all right, and then I just fucking hit the deck. I was like, oh, yeah. And thankfully, TW gave me some painkillers, and that helped. But you hear me on the camera, and I'm like, it's not that I'm worried about. It's tomorrow because of the condition I got. And the next day, I couldn't move. And part of it was just muscular. I knew that it was like where I'd, where like I say, some of the stretching hadn't been done. Part of it was just damage on top of the damage I've already done. It was horrible. I couldn't get out of bed for, I don't know, for a good few days. I mean, when I say I couldn't get out of bed, I don't mean I got up for a pee. I mean, I was stuck. It wasn't cool. But and then being attacked by those freaks that nobody wants me to mention. Well, don't attack me then.
Was that in the demo?
Being attacked by the DFLA demo. Yeah, I got invited there by a great guy. We're not invited, but I was given a brilliant green light, and a bit of help in terms of the podcast. By a great guy called Jack Dawkins and stuff like that. So everything was set. I was really excited about it. We just got there, hadn't we, Chris? And I was really excited about it. And before I knew it, I had the stuffing kicked out of me once, and then these idiots tried to hurt me. The funny thing was, the you banging into me hurt like a motherfucker. But
I'm sorry, bro.
What happened? What happened? No, it's alright. No, it wasn't your fault. What happened to me by the morons? I hope you're seeing this, guys. Was much less effective. Got sort of thrown to the floor a bit.
Did you? When was that?
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
I missed
Somebody had another picture of it from the side, but that mysteriously has got taken down now. Yes, my friend Eric jumped in to help. He grabbed hold of someone, threw them. Someone jumped in, threw him. It was stupid because if it was really serious, it would have been punches, And it was all because I had the camera, and because I'm not, Dave's there. I'm not a fan of anybody having a 5-on-1.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyone.
I agree.
And no matter who it is, what circumstances, that's just something I can't walk away from. Camera or no camera, you know? And that's the reason why I did what I did. They think I was trying to film or whatever. Fuck off. Why do you think I put the camera down by my side? Because, you know what I mean? I was fucking prepared to do what I had to do, even though I didn't fancy my chances. And, yeah, and, you know, I get thrown from behind. I get a rib and a punch in the... Sorry, an elbow to the ribs and a punch in the ribs from behind. And lots of threats for being there, I guess, for just being there, and for giving a damn about someone.
I never knew that, man. I knew there was only a moment about you filming.
Yeah, so fuck them. Yeah, I fucking hope they choke on their next dinner.
You'll see.
Because even after the way they treated me, I was absolutely still polite and decent to them.
That's good of you.
And that's the way I am. So yeah, that pissed me off. But I don't know who was behind it. Don't want to know now. Don't care. It's past. But yeah, it wasn't so much them that hurt me though. It was the police, and this slightly short answer to the question. But yeah, I know I'm not supposed to mention all this stuff. Who said I'm not supposed to mention it? I don't even know who said I'm not supposed to mention it. So if the person that said shouldn't be mentioning it doesn't want to step forward, then fuck yeah. You know? So.
Well, we'd be nice if we're going to Manchester Collective. Have got a thing on tomorrow, a meet or a march on tomorrow.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Manchester Collective have got a march on tomorrow in Manchester Piccadilly, which you want to go to, don't you?
Okay, what
go, yeah.
Yeah. So
what time?
11 o'clock, I believe it is.
11 o'clock, people in Manchester, get there or just be slapped about a lot. Get there. Get there.
It should be a good turnout, and we'll be down there, and Chris will be down there as well, so it should be a good turnout.
I'll try live stream it.
Yeah,
I'll try live stream it, Zero.
Unfortunately, you probably won't see anything from me because I have no data left on my phone. So unfortunately, you might not see anything from me yet.
I'll get you with it.
No!
You will see it. She'll be with me.
I just won't be able to go live myself.
It's okay. Come to my channel.
So, when will you be speaking next? Is there any plans?
Yeah, the 5th of October. The grooming gang awareness side of Families Destroyed by the State is putting a demo together for the 5th of October because obviously the camp wasn't able to continue. He's looking at obviously the last weekend that he would have been there, setting a demo up there as well.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Bear with me, guys. I'm looking at my ever worse notes. It's getting near the end of the page.
Come on, Zero.
They get worse.
It's alright. It gives everyone a chance on my channel to keep sharing.
Yeah, it's a bit like I couldn't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I went, that gets the end.
It gives people a chance to share. It's fine.
Zero, what happened to that dress you promised me? You said you were going to wear a dress for the audience today.
You were so obsessed with seeing him in a dress.
And you haven't, a bit like Brexit, really. You know, I want a good deal. I want a good deal.
Are you going to Brexit march?
I'm going to Brexit march.
Well,
fuck me. Is the Pope Catholic and does he shag kids? Yeah.
Oh, I can't laugh at jokes like that. You can't make jokes like that. I'm not allowed to laugh at them.
I'll take that as a yes then, Sunshine.
That was, by the way, YouTube, that was satire.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not allowed.
That's us closed down. Cheers,
Yeah,
cheers, Einstein.
That was satire.
Means fuck all to them. That'll be you in prison then.
I actually can see the comments, by the way, guys. Every time I'm just looking now, just seeing what shit I'm gonna get for that. That's quite funny.
Oh, I can't make me laugh at jokes like that. You're gonna get shit now.
Not too bad. So I'm sorry. Let's get serious again. It's
Let's
nice
get
to have a break
serious.
and then come back and.
We've been doing this every single conversation, going from laughing 1 minute to depressing shit another minute to Chris being a tit another minute.
I think it helps people cope though, because
it does. It really does.
Viewers, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's a roller coaster ride, but it's better than just going on the down part.
Exactly.
You shut down, enables you to cope with what you're hearing. So
You gotta have a laugh.
a lot of people, you were talking about this earlier on, weren't we? A lot of people will just switch off.
Everyone's got different coping mechanisms, and laughing is one of them.
Have
you got any reports on what's going on with veterans? Zero.
It looked like a very good turnout from Dean's Live.
It looked like a very good turnout. I saw a little bit of active stream this morning. It seemed like things started very early. In fact, really, they started last night, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I did see a hell of a lot of motorbikes there.
Oh yes.
On a couple of clips, and I saw something approximating an armoured vehicle. And it seemed like when I saw, that big Viking guy, he was
Dean.
up on stage, but a guy went up. Yeah. And a guy went up before him, and they were very organised, just like you'd expect, but they really were in military mode. And it was actually really awesome to see how they were organising people. And I thought, geez, we need this. All these movements we were in, we need this. The way they were organising, and not just organising it, but even thinking of the tidiness, which we do, but the way they thought about it. Not just tidying up afterwards, but even being preventative beforehand.
They were recycling and everything while they were down there.
It was really cool listening to someone really with an organised brain who's used to do it. And so I was just blown away by that. But other than that, I haven't seen much to really comment.
No, it did look amazing though. I've seen some of Dean's Live. I mean, we've been back and forth doing shit today anyway. But I've seen some of Dean's Live. I've seen a couple of lives that are going around, and it looked like an absolutely amazing turnout. You know what? I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
really
it did. Yeah. I mean,
fair play to him.
I made a decision that I put on YouTube and explain why I wasn't going. It's for a great reason, and I know I made the right decision. It doesn't mean it wasn't hard to watch the live streams and not think, oh my god, I want to be there.
Yeah,
of course, man.
That was really difficult.
Gutted I'm not there.
If I was in a better place financially, I'd have been there in a bloody heartbeat. But it's one of them. I've got to support from the sidelines and just shout. I do what I can on the other end of the phone.
The polls I saw, if this means anything to anybody, let me just have a look back at this too. There's comments while we're doing this. Hang on, I've got something. Zero News, I've just turned on the comments. Zero News, could you pass a message on to Katie about my interview with Zack, please, buddy? What's the message? Please.
I think that is the message, to be honest. Zack, I hope you're still on mine. The guy who you wanted to interview is messaging on Zero's channel. So message him back, please. Don't forget. Sorry.
Right, this is a guy called Stephen Kahn.
That's the one, Stephen Kahn. Yeah, I know who he's about. I did remind Zack, but Zack's got a memory like a fucking goldfish.
He's a good guy.
He is.
He's a good guy. Yeah, he's good.
He was there before.
So let me just come back a second, because Katie, I feel like really I kind of accidentally cut you off a little bit early there, and I know I don't know how long we've been on for. Don't really give a shit. What I do care about is that I want you to bring us some more awareness, some more things that we need to know about this forced adoption, because I really want us to get the message out there for you. So give us some more. Treat us like laymen. Treat us like idiots. Treat us like we don't know nothing, and help people understand just how serious and how embedded an issue this is, and what it's going to take to fight against it and win.
I mean, the problem's going to be that you can't educate people. They have to educate themselves. Everyone's gonna have to do at least start doing the research on something. That video, Carol Woods, and that website, Ian Joseph's, they're the perfect place to start, because it's the same place where we start from when it first happens to us. I'd say
Can you give them a head start and get any other things you could recommend? Books or anything you could say that's helpful?
Our page is probably going to be your best bet. Families destroyed by the state, or even type in forced adoption into your search bar.
Say that slower. That first.
Documentary.
Families destroyed by the state.
Families destroyed by the state. Is that the? Oh yeah. No, that's the one I saw earlier. Yes, families
Zero.
destroyed by the state.
And the documentary.
Don't forget as well, Chris has done a documentary himself, which let me see if I can bring this up.
It's on there. It's on Childrenmatter. It's on Childrenmatter, isn't it?
Yeah.
On my channel
Right,
and Childrenmatter.
So hang on. So Chris has done. This is worth mentioning because this will educate people. Chris has done a documentary called Forced Adoption. What's it called, Chris? I'm taking the way of it at the moment.
Forced Adoption UK, isn't it?
Forced adoption exposed or something like that.
Oh no, it's just Forced Adoption UK, I think. There's 2 parts.
So 2 parts, yes.
There's
two
2
parts.
parts to it.
But just got to go to TR.Talk. But it's
Or
it's
Childrenmatter.
just a little bit of this here. Just
Oh,
playing you a
yeah,
little bit of this documentary from TR.Talk now.
Because I've had all the camp videos go up on there.
Sorry, where was
Just
it?
going to jump forward.
Oh.
As you can see,
Yeah, I know it's Pretty good.
as you can see, there's interviews and hang on a second.
You just type it in. Forced Adoption.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
So as you can see, it's not just a Word document. Chris has actually done it, which should also make you excited, if not a little worried about the next one that's coming. That they've been working so hard on. So Katie, what can people who are involved in all movements do to help you and help those kids?
Yeah, see those are.
You got a question there, Zero?
Yeah, that's what I just sorry, maybe I didn't come across what I said. Katie, what can people in all movements or anybody who cares to get off their ass to do something?
Stand with us. Stand with us. Listen to what we've got to say. Try and understand a bit of what it is that we go through and why we're doing what we're doing. And I think that most people need to understand more than anything is that we're just people. We are just there doing what we've been forced out there. We don't want to be out there. We don't want to be doing what we're doing. We don't want to be living the way that we're doing. We're forced out there. Just a little bit of understanding, a little bit of standing with us and sharing our stuff, sharing our content, looking into what we do. Being there just to be in here and just to listen to us. Whether you listen to us once, whether you continue to listen to our stories, it doesn't matter because you share that, someone else who you know could possibly be going through it or have even gone through it themselves without you knowing. It's not something that people can openly talk about unless they've not got a gagging order. And it's obviously heartbreaking to talk about.
Please explain what you told me about the gagging orders earlier on. I didn't realise how extensive this was.
Well, obviously everyone knows about censorship with Tommy Robinson. And as harsh as it sounds, one of the first things I said was, well, now he knows what a lot of the parents feel like. Because I don't mean it in a harsh way at all. I just mean it's a very common thing in our circle with the forced adoption and parental alienation. It is a very common thing because to stop parents from being able to go out and to raise awareness and to help other people, they get slapped with gagging orders in court, which means they can't talk about their children, they can't talk about the case, they can't share photos or their children's names. They're completely and utterly gagged from being able to do it, and if they do, they end up in prison. So there's only a handful of parents across the UK that aren't actually gagged against the family courts, me being one of them. And then trying to extend your focus away from your own children to every child is not easy to do. Sorry. No, it's finished. Go on.
Again. Oh, is it possible to protect the others that are not currently gay?
Yeah, get the before you get any social services involvement, you need to get your kids' faces and your kids' names shared everywhere. Get people to share them themselves on their own profiles. That way it becomes public domain. So that way it won't...
As stupid as I sound, but I want to do this for everyone, why does that help?
Because that way it's in the public domain. If it's in the public domain, it's public property. It's no longer the property of the parents, so therefore the kids' names and faces can still get out there. So it's a loophole to the gagging order. So that way you can still fight.
That sounds good to me.
That's how I did it.
Good.
Is there anything else you'd like to say on it? Or the documentary, or Chris, about this, if we haven't talked about, or you wanted to mention, or anything like that, because I don't want to sell you short on this. Yeah,
man. Well, everyone that's took part in the documentary, Katie, Tinky, Angie, anyone else I see, before I start editing it. Glenn Saffar, massive shout out to him for the Melanie Shaw demo, and Jimmy the Hart, everyone that organised it, all the admins, Martin, top people. Did you catch any of the Melanie Shaw demo?
No, I was going to ask you about that in a sec. If you could just finish answering the question, just so I know that you both got out what you want to say.
Right, well, the only thing that I wanted to clear, well, it's more clear anything up, because I know we set out to do a 30-day camp. Obviously, we've not managed to do the entire 30-day camp. There were multiple issues, but they were dealt with in-house. Unfortunately, some of them took it public and didn't like the response. However, there were multiple witnesses there, so I don't even have to do a fucking thing. People need to focus on what it is they're fighting for and stop trying to drag out petty, immature bullshit, because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, we're all here fighting for the kids for a fucking reason, and no one's got time for bickering or going personally messaging people and personally phoning people to shut someone up who's one of the only people who can fight for the fucking kids. It's going to bring them a lot more backlash than it is me taking anything public. Because at the end of the day, I'm one of the only people who can fight for the kids, and if they take me out of the equation, then that's one less person that can fight for the kids. I don't mean that in a big-headed way at all. I'm genuinely don't want to get to a point where it risks my kids being silenced, because that's what's going to happen if they shut me up.
Yeah. Which is why the risk needs to be shared. I know it's cliche for me, but it's also true.
People need to understand how bad rumours can actually get, especially if there's actually no foundation to them. I mean, Chris has witnessed it before in the past. I've witnessed it. Yourself, more than likely, as well.
Absolutely. Rumours are an ugly thing when it comes to personal things. It's horrid. Is there any... Right, so I was going to say anything you want to plug, but it doesn't give people the right impression. So is there any links, social media, anything you want to get out to people?
Well, if anyone checks out our YouTube channel, Children Matter, obviously I can't say it without having a manc accent, so I know Zach's going to be giggling on the other end of the fucking camera listening to that. And then we've got Facebook and Telegram, which is Families Destroyed by the State. Because obviously that's what we all are. We're not just forced adoption, long-term foster care or parental alienation. We are families destroyed by the state in any means, any way, how we do all stand together. We're not family related through blood, but we are family related through trauma.
Fair play. And Chris.
Yes, mate.
You went to the Melanie Shaw demo, and we haven't had a chance to connect and talk about it. So obviously a lot of other people do know about it, but anyone's asked you, give us your take, what happened, how do you feel about it, everything. Just tell us what you want to tell us.
Mate, I think up there is one of the best demos I've been to, mate. I think.
Really?
I think it was brilliant.
For what reasons?
Atmosphere, the unity, togetherness. More importantly, the people that told their stories, man. There were some heartbreaking stories that went on. I don't know if you caught them. Did you? Did you see them?
I was at a camp.
But some heartbreaking stories was told, man. It was an emotional day, man. But the atmosphere was great. Yeah, it's an incredible.
The atmosphere looked really good. It was hard to tell turnout. It didn't look massive, but it didn't need to.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was the thing that grabbed you.
Yeah, about 150 people, I reckon. 200, I don't know. Hard to say.
There was,
loud.
Out in the middle of nowhere, though, no surprise, is it?
No. It's out of the way, man.
The atmosphere looked really good.
Yeah, it was.
And obviously, you got round to that night, and fireworks went off, a few other things went off, which was
Pyros, no
nice.
pyro, no pie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was good.
I did see you got. Well, I didn't see you get some criticism for it. I saw you responding to what I presume was criticism of it. What was that about?
Oh, it was just about. They just said TR News was making money off it. Some people, so. It's all rubbish. We cleared it up with the people that organised it. Jimmy the Hat's got the money. Nobody earned money out of it. Just paying back for what already got.
Unbelievable. What is it with people that think that we got like we've got all this money? They can see how we fucking live. See how we. Well, in my case anyway. See how I dress. Do you know what I mean? It's obvious we don't have loads of money. This whole PayPal Patriots thing. As ridiculous as it is, it's done me personally some damage, and the worst of it is it's been said by people with money, or people who have used that exact same system to get where they are, and it's so obvious to me that those people are doing it because look, there's these other channels getting bigger and we don't want them to.
Yeah, of course.
It's as plain as the end of your nose, and I'm surprised people are buying into it. But
I mean, over the last few weeks, with quite a few protesters and campaigners that obviously, like Chris, I've actually seen how I live. Not something to be proud of when you can't afford gas.
I hear you. No, I totally hear you. Believe me, I've had some head hanging moments. Just put it that way.
But the thing is, what people don't understand as well is, I mean, I've got friends who are campaigners who donate to other campaigners who go out on video and go around to place after place after place. And one thing they say is, so what? At the end of the day, it's up to them who they want to donate to and why. If you're lying for it, then you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's different.
But if it is to help you out, if it is to help you do what you're doing, if it is to help you go around and get the information that they can't travel around and do for themselves, then that is up to them, and that's what she was pointing out. And she doesn't do what we do. She just donates to a couple of people, a couple of protesters here and there. And
absolutely,
I completely applaud her for what she does. Because if I could afford to donate to other campaigners for what they do, I fucking would do in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, I've donated to a few things myself, but never, don't get me wrong, not massive donations because I can't afford it, but I've just done it because you want to try and show some. It's difficult when you've got no money. But at that point in time, we just had enough where I could just go. I could squeeze that,
Yeah.
But the idea that we're asking money for any other reason. I do understand it. There are comments everywhere, but I also do see people going to popular channels on the internet and paying $300 in a super chat by one person for that person to go and buy a toy Millennium Falcon and run it over. So you tell me. And that guy, by the way, is a millionaire.
Wow.
But yeah. So you worked that one out for me. So,
Zero.
Yes.
I forgot to mention, man, you and the Black Van Man interview. Proper that was.
Oh, man.
That was good. It's class, bro.
I
proper
loved it. I loved it.
Genuine.
Say again.
Proper genuine.
Again, buddy.
What?
It was funny because just before the interview started, we had what was meant to be a 5-minute chat, ended up being a 20-minute chat. And in the middle of it, I thought, "Jeez, this is so good. We should be recording it." And then as soon as those two were going live, we hiccup at first, and it's really funny. And I never ever did. We hiccup for the first couple of minutes. It's quite funny, but I knew we were having a profound conversation, but I knew he was getting tired. I knew I was getting tired. When I got off there, I was really tired, and that conversation was in my head for a few days, because obviously when you're live, you can only take so much in, and so I was unpacking that conversation for days, and there's some stuff that came out of that's made me shift my opinion slightly on certain things, and certainly has awakened certain parts of me that I wasn't aware of. I mean, how often do you expect to get that out of an interview, honestly? You know, amazing guy, absolutely fucking love the guy.
Okay,
and great interview as well. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
I really enjoyed doing it. My only gutting thing was, I mean, we're on this today. This is a bit of a beta test, but it seems to be holding. I hope the audience doesn't hate the way this is coming out. It should look okay. So the only gutting thing was, this is exactly the same technology I was trying to get working for that day, and I've spent half an hour more on it today than I did that day, and we've got something working. So yeah, so that was frustrating, because I wanted to give him a higher quality, not I'm saying this is perfect by any means, but a higher quality interview. But as he said, there's other times to come. Guys, did you fancy taking some questions from the audience?
Sure.
Go on then, mate.
Yeah? Right, guys, so I won't be able to see. Oh, actually, I can see. So, guys, in the audience, what I need to know from you guys is, do you have any? Because I'm not going to go back through your comments, because there's too many. So I'll say, is there anything you guys wanted to ask Kate or Katie about forced adoption? Anything you want to ask Chris about TR.Talk? Any of you that's not familiar, Chris is from TR.Talk, in case you're not familiar with his first name. So
don't give him more of a reason
any
to talk
questions?
about himself.
Ask TR. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Hang on. Ask TR.Talk what happened to the woman in the graveyard who got fined £100 for hindsight.
Oh yes, we collected over £700, and we get,
I saw that.
Yeah, we get well, I don't know. The GoFundMe page fucking up a bit. It's saying I get like £388 this week, and then so I must get the rest the next week. So then we'll just give it to them.
Oh yeah, GoFundMe does it in portions.
Yeah, they're doing like weekly.
Right.
So I presume I'll get it over 2 pays, and then we'll pay her. Well, I'll either go with Glenn Saffer or Active Patriot will do on his own.
By the way, guys, the video I'm watching in order to see your comments is what you're seeing. So it's slightly what's the word, out of sync with how live it is. So there's a bit of a delay. So Patrick McMahon says, if you're a true patriot, stop being fighting and get your act together and get out and start doing something about it. But I don't know who that's aimed at.
I was going to say, well, he's come from his down to Manchester to actually do it, so I don't know. And me, I mean, I've just finished a bloody camp out. I mean, I'm back on my fucking crutches because of the fucking camp out. And you're doing this, reaching out of your area, out of your comfort zone to come and interview with forced adoption, so...
Yeah,
Who
so
was he talking to us? Was he talking to us?
I don't know, I was just explaining how it couldn't have been any of us.
Bloody hell. No chance.
You weren't at the vet day, says Hope the English Hedgewitch.
That was at Green Day Park.
Hope the English Hedgewitch. Say what you want to say, shut the fuck up. Right. John Rankin, ask TR how his team do today. How does his team do today?
Funny. We lost. Bankers. Who said that?
No one had to listen to him cry.
Nick Slew, who is an awesome person, says, Zero News, is there any way all the groups that support her uniting to make the cause stronger?
That's what we're asking for.
That is what is currently being attempted now, Nick Slew. And again, sorry if I'm behind, it is literally...
Nick Slew, when are you getting
when
Telegram?
we're broadcasting and when you're seeing.
Ask her, when should get in Telegram?
Who?
Nick Slew.
Nick Slew, when you get in Telegram, says Chris, sorry. Yeah, I agree with Bolton. Bolton says Katie is inspirational. I'm on board with their awareness campaign. We need to get behind the cause. Absolutely, 100%. And just have a look, guys. LG says, Chris and Katie, are they hooking up with Tommy Robinson to help push their message so it goes out on InfoWars and Rebel Media?
Well, Tommy's given me a platform a couple of times. I've done a video for forced adoption, but it's kind of one of them with the MEP campaign and then trial. It's been pushed back till after. But Danny and that are in contact with me at the minute because we've got a young adoptive lass who came to the camp that we're trying to help spread awareness for at the minute as well.
Can you talk about that?
Patrick, my mum, why are people still not united? Patrick, here's the trick. Here's the trick. One, it's easy words. Two, we are all considered, whether it's true or not, to be on the right. The right believes in individual responsibility and individualism as opposed to identity politics. That is a great thing, but it does come with its drawbacks, and that is that it's harder because everybody's got their own ideas, whereas the communist left don't. The other side of it is that I was going to say something. I think it was Kate mentioned to me earlier on. Oh no, something that we all know. So a lot of egos that have been on our side. So, but we are trying to do something about it. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
I agree.
Michelle Anon, who is a person I've known for way back now, brilliant person, she said, we are all brainwashed into thinking children are taken into care for their own good.
Yeah, we are 100%. I was one of them included. I was one of them that stood by, swore blind that social services were involved. They must have had a reason to be involved. I was one of those people that felt like that.
Just going to jump forward a little bit, guys, because I don't know how far apart we are. So, hang a second. Harry Foreman, hey Harry.
Harry.
Let's have a look.
Why is that Harry? No, he's not now.
So the Cranky Crafter said, I heard that children in the USA were being put up for adoption, forced, as they were paid for each child taken. Is that the same here?
Oh, it's worse. America adapted what the English did. They adapted English family law.
And Louis W is a mod and a good person. Said, News, please tell Katie thank you and send her you a big heart.
Who's that from? Sorry?
That's from Looney W.
Oh, hi, Looney.
Looney.
Let's have a look. Oh, God. Sorry, it keeps jumping because I'm a little bit behind. Someone said I'm bringing people together. I wouldn't go as far as to give me that much credit, but yeah, I am trying to branch out to reach as many people as possible, whether you like them or not. That is true.
That's also one of the reasons why we're all looking at putting a Unity for Our Children channel together, which will have hopefully all of us free on, including other groups as well, which it came from another admin. Actually, it was their idea to do it. And now we've got enough people from enough different causes, we can actually start getting it going.
That's a real idea that's being thrown around. Unity for Children, and I said when Katie mentioned this to me that we could get them to 1,000 subs. No problem. What do you think, guys? I think that we can. Easy. With all of our pools together, come on. Of course we can. Sorry. Oh, it's jumping around the place. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, just looking at this great comments here. Heard they were asking kids in school about their sexuality. Oh, they're doing more than that.
What if you
They're
missed
doing
that?
more than that.
So I got a message.
Sorry, say again?
I had a comment on mine saying they missed something and to repeat it, but I'm not quite sure what is missed.
I don't know either. If they give me any more, I'll tell them.
That's what I've just asked for. A bit more info on what exactly they missed.
I've jumped forward here. Oh yeah, I think I've read that.
Oh,
one. So,
the idea we were
okay.
talking about the YouTube channel Unity for Our Children.
Yes, and it's a real idea, and it's probably going to happen. So,
Thank you.
It says pain, not mother.
hello brother, I'm here. Hey Harry, and he's talking to you as well. He says love you, bro. So, to you, Chris. So,
Who's that? Harry.
Harry, yeah.
How did you guess? Oh, we love you, Harry.
Oh, it keeps jumping. Sorry, I just right in the middle of a really good comment. Anyone who's not united when it comes down to our children needs to hang their head in shame.
I agree.
Just hang themselves.
Not that part.
Hey Tom and chat. Hey everyone. I need to quickly note from my brother when our next match is, if you wouldn't mind, 0. I don't mind. Just write it. You hear that?
That was for
That's
you.
from Harry Foreman.
That was for me. What's
Yes.
What's he say?
It says, Harry Foreman says, I need to quickly know from my brother when our next match is, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't. Oh, I missed it. Yeah. What was the question? What was the question?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I started
When's
talking.
your next match, you
I
bloody...
started talking.
How many times do we have to tell you to pay attention when you're being spoken to?
Honestly, can you guys tell this is an amateur channel? Let me have a think.
Sure.
Right. So Harry says, when's the next match for your team? For sake.
It's not even that important. Come on.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
know,
You
man.
made me
Wednesday, I
read it
think.
3 times.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
You're the one who wanted it
Exactly.
repeated
You
five
just made me
times.
waste my time 3 times.
I know you just asked him to repeat it.
Maybe
3 times
Tuesday or
so-
Wednesday. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, bro. There you go. Now move on.
Basically,
Any more?
you don't
Just
know,
ignore
right?
any more from Harry.
Harry's
Can you
getting
ask-
in trouble.
Can you ask Katie if she knows how Jodie is, please? Says Scat
there you go.
She tells me it's actually pronounced.
At the minute, she's imprisoned in a care home, but I can't tell too much information because if any of social are watching and they know how much information we actually have, it could put her more in jeopardy. So we've got to be very, very, very cautious at the minute. So at the minute, she's all right and she's not back with her abusers, but she's not exactly safe yet.
Right. Bolton, I just seen a message from you saying, what's the link for? What link, buddy? I'm not aware of any link. Oh shit, it keeps jumping, it's still in my head. Bear with me. You need to join up comments, Tom. I don't know what that means. Do you mean catch up? I'm not that far behind, in fact, I'm pretty much there. Just have a look. Is there a demo outside Parliament on the 31st of October? There's a demo, there's definitely going to be a demo 31st of October. If it's outside Parliament, I don't know, probably.
I think it's outside Parliament.
We'll do a march. 0. We'll do a march to the Parliament. We'll meet
Sounds
somewhere
good.
first.
Yeah, and meet at the train station and walk from the train station to Parliament. That way no one has to walk on their own.
Yeah, do something like that.
This
With
is
the
what
polos.
I'm looking forward to, but I also would say this is one that also could be a flashpoint. So it's a bit of one, you know.
Yeah.
It's that flat cap cooking Chris's head. I've already given him shit about his cap tonight. He's not very happy with me about that. So
it's alright. He lost it, had me rooting round the house for it. He picked it up 3 fucking times and still had me running around the fucking house for it.
I'm a genius. I knew where it was and I just sent her running around the house. That's what we do.
And Scatterfig followed that up with, as long as she's safe and okay, and safe and feeling okay, her story really got to me and she stayed in my thoughts.
Oh, I will pass it on to her. It'll probably be tomorrow that I pass it on to her now, as long as I actually can do. But at the minute, she is being treated like she's in a prison. She is being treated like she's the abuser and not the victim.
Okay, guys. So, any last questions before we start to wrap this thing up?
No, mate. What?
Obviously, if there's any questions on our end as well, put them up.
On the chat, sorry, on the chat. So same for you on Facebook, I imagine, Katie.
There's not many people on, I think it's because it's late and, yeah. But there is a couple of people on, so if they do want to ask any questions and whatnot before we go, then...
It's funny, I can't get to the live streams I do from my phone. Even though there's absolutely no reason not. I can't do it. I can't see any of them. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And annoying. Equally weird and annoying at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, okay, so I've said any last questions. So, just checking. Because we don't want to talk about Boris today.
I stay away from politics, I have to.
Yeah, so we're steering away from that stuff today. No, so not much news on the veterans in... Oh, okay, fair enough. New news, how can I get in contact with Katie, Looney W?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Katie-Jayne Swallow, or Families Destroyed by the State. Telegram, Families Destroyed by the State, and there's Unity for Our Children, and one under my name as well, just in case you get lost on any of them. And then YouTube, Children Matter.
Anything else? Any other links or anything you want to share while we got you doing that?
Zero, put her link, yeah? Put Katie's link to YouTube in the comments after this.
Yeah, will do.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, yeah, please do. And then, sorry, last couple, okay? So, Bolton says, tell Katie we are behind her. She's one brave lady. John Rankin says, how is the girl getting on TR.Talk let on channel last week? Whoever you had on last week, how she's getting on?
What's bad about Jodie?
Sorry?
Yeah, I think that might be Jodie, the young 15, if I'm right, it'll be the young 15-year-old who was adopted, who turned up to the camp. She's the one I can't give too much information on at the minute due to her safety and being watched like a hawk.
Okay. Oh, no, fair enough. Just looking, I think we're going to call it a second, otherwise it's going to be one last one. So, Kate, did you say Katie Swallow, says Stacey Imrie?
Did what?
She said, did you say Katie Swallow?
Katie-Jayne Swallow.
Katie-Jayne Swallow, yes. So, okay guys, I'm gonna call the questions in there. Chris, my man.
Yes, bro.
My man. When we're done, do you want to release the recorded version on your channel?
Well, have you got it recorded?
Yes.
I can do it if you want. I don't mind.
If you wanted to share around, because we need to share this around, everyone. So please share. It needs to be done. I know we haven't been heavy on details, but Katie's given you starting place, so that's really where you need to start off from.
Documentary soon, bro. Documentary soon.
If you knew how dark it was from the beginning, you wouldn't look into it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you need. That's why we've injected a little bit of silliness in that today as well, because it really sinks. And Chris, obviously, documentary on the way. Keep an eye on Chris to find out when that's going to be released, etc. Because that will be worth watching for sure. He's put himself through it this week to get that done. Chris, anything you want to plug? Say, get out there, links.
No, just obviously give this girl a follow because she needs all of our support. You know, it's very vocal, puts her life into doing what she's doing, and the other girls I've met, they've all been an inspiration to be around. So please subscribe to Children Matter and all the other channels she's got.
100%.
I feel so loved.
And I want to say as well, Chris, finally glad to get you on my show, man.
It's good to be here, bro.
Genuine honour to have you on.
Pleasure's all
really
mine.
Appreciate your time and love what you're doing. So brilliant. And to everyone else, obviously, the comment section. Chris will be sending me a link, and we'll put a couple of other links in the description and the comments. Please like it or hate it. I love it when you hate it. It's still, for me, it still actually does me a favour. So if it triggers you enough to make you hate it, please hit that button because you don't know how much it makes me laugh. It's fucking awesome. It's absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant. So let's try and beat our record of about 12. Okay. I'm looking for 112. Then I'm happy. And beyond that, cheers for tuning in. Again, sorry for making the bets thing, but as you've seen if you've seen my YouTube post, you'll understand why, and you'll understand that it's a brilliant thing for me. So I am really happy, and happy that we were able to turn it into something constructive as well by seeing these guys. And I've really enjoyed their company tonight. So thanks to them again. And from YouTube, because don't forget there's a Facebook stream going on that Katie's running. From YouTube, this is Storm Suri from Zero News, and I am calling it a day for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having us on anyway.
Peace out.
It's not mine anyway. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye.
Speak to you all soon.
Yeah.